How many elements are in this compound? A 7 billion parameter model running on our own hardware gets it right. Now, the exact same model in the exact same test. One setting changed. The compression level everyone tells you is safe. Wrong. Here's the part that should bother you. On the benchmark, those two models score the same. Everybody knows quantization loses you something. What nobody shows you is what you lose and how to measure it. Lowering the bits does something sneakier than making the model evenly dumber. It silently scrambles which answers it gets right, while the score you check stays flat. Today, we quantify it. 500 questions, 6 compression levels, 2 models, every answer diffed, and at the end, a rule for which quant to actually download. This is Wolf Stedman at the local ceiling, where we test the claims everyone else just repeats. Let's get into it. Every quantization comparison you've watched does the same thing. Run the full model on a benchmark. Run the compressed one. Compare scores. Close enough. Safe. That test has a blind spot you could drive a truck through. Accuracy counts how many questions a model gets right. It says nothing about which questions. 2 models can hit the identical score by being right about completely different things, and the total would never tell you. A couple of videos back, we tested a claim everyone was repeating that a 700 billion parameter model could run without a GPU, and found the number nobody was quoting. Today we're doing the same thing to the quant ladder, because a brand new preprint measured this blind spot directly, and then we measured it ourselves. Here's the test. 500 ARC Challenge science questions, the same benchmark family the research uses. 2 models you've actually downloaded. Qwen 2.57b instruct and Mistral 7b instruct. We took the full precision weights and quantized them ourselves with llama.cpp down the exact ladder you see on every model page. Q8, Q6, Q4, Q3, Q2. Temperature 0, fixed seed, and a grammar that forces the model to answer with a single letter. A, B, C, or D. No sampling, no dice rolls. If an answer changes between quant levels, the only thing that changed is the weights. Mistral first. Full precision scores 75.4%. Q8, 75.6. Q6 and Q4, 75.0. Down at Q3, 74. You're watching the score barely move. Every one of those gaps is inside the statistical noise. Now watch the number nobody publishes. Answers changed versus full precision. Q8, 3 out of 500. Q6, 12. Q4, the quant most of you actually run, 36. Q3, 55. And Q2, 156. Nearly one answer in 3 is different from a model whose score only fell 12 points. At Q4, 15 questions the full precision model gets right. The Q4 model now gets wrong. 13 it used to miss, it now gets right. 15 lost, 13 gained. The score sheet calls that a wash. If one of those 15 was your question, it's not a wash. And the flip you saw in the open is real, and it's repeatable. How many elements in magnesium hydroxide? Magnesium, oxygen, hydrogen. 3. Qwen gets it right at full precision, right at Q8, right at Q6. At Q4 it says 5. Same question, same seed, same everything. Deterministic, it gets it wrong every single time. If you run models on your own hardware, this is what we do here. Buy it or build it, run it, and publish what actually happened. Numbers first. The tested tier, not the hype tier. Subscribe to follow along and to shape what we test next. The research community got here first. A preprint posted July 9th, The Illusion of Equivalency, out of the University of Manitoba group, ran the same ladder on 4 models and 3 benchmarks, and introduced a metric called correctness agreement. Out of all the questions, how often are the full precision model and the quantized model both right? And credit where it's due, because a lot of channels would skip this. The core phenomenon was first shown in 2024 by a Microsoft research team in a paper literally titled "Accuracy is Not All You Need." They called these answer changes flips and measured up to 13.6% of answers flipping, while accuracy moved less than 2. So this is no fluke result. It's 2 research teams, 2 years apart on different quantization formats. And now our own hardware. On the GGUF ladder, you actually download. Everyone measured churn. The new paper also takes a first credible swing at why. Inside every transformer layer, 4 projections: query, key, value, output. Quantize them separately, and query and key. The 2 that decide where the model looks in your prompt are consistently the most damaged by low bit counts. Value and output, the parts that produce the words, hold up better. Think about what that means. The model still speaks fluently. It just quietly anchored on a different part of your question. Nothing looks broken. Now make that concrete. Say you've got a Q4 quant on a headless box parsing your server logs overnight, flagging anything critical. It misses the one out of memory line the full precision model would have caught. Not because it got dumber everywhere, but because its attention landed somewhere else. Same benchmark score. Different Saturday. Because you're going to spend it debugging something your monitoring said was fine. That's what a scrambled answer set means in a real workload. An illustration of the mechanism, not a thing we measured today. What we measured is the multiple choice version. But the mechanism doesn't know the difference. 2 honest limits before the verdict. Better we say them than the comment section finds them for us. 1. Everything here is 3 to 8 billion parameter models on multiple choice benchmarks. Whether it holds at 70B or on code generation where correct means more than a single letter. Open question. Nobody's measured it. We're not going to pretend otherwise. 2. A 2024 study found flips concentrate on questions the model was least confident about to begin with. So this is probably tipping answers that were already on a knife edge, more than sabotaging your confident, easy ones. That makes it less scary and also harder to notice. Your model stays right where it was strong. It goes wrong where it was already weak, with full confidence in its voice, either way. So here's the rule of thumb from our own data. Not vibes, the diffed. Q8 is the real thing, not a compromise. On Qwen, it returned the identical answer sheet to full precision, 0 changed answers in 500. On Mistral, 3. If your workload needs factual consistency, parsing, extraction, logic you act on, Q8's your floor, and it's a real floor. Q6 is a near clone, a dozen changed answers in 500. For almost everything, fine. Q4 is where you start trading. Same score, but about 1 answer in 15 is now different. For chat, drafting, brainstorming, you'll never notice. For anything where a silently changed answer costs you, know that you're making that trade. You're paying for VRAM headroom with answer stability. Q3 doubles the churn again. And Q2 is a different model wearing the same name. 1 answer in 3 changed. Nothing you rely on belongs there. And if you want to check your model on your questions, the entire harness is about 100 lines. It's linked below, and the whole grid ran in 25 minutes on 1 GPU. Diff the answers, not the scores. 1 caveat and 1 offer. The caveat, the paper's a preprint, days old, not yet peer-reviewed. And replication is the whole point of the metric. So check it yourself. The toolchain's public. Our harness is linked below. The offer. This video measured what quantizing the weights does to your answers. But there's a second thing everybody compresses and assumes is free. The KV cache. You drop it to Q8 or Q4 to fit a longer context. And as far as we can tell, nobody's published churn numbers for that. Anywhere. If you want us to run this exact test on KV cache compression, say so in the comments, and tell us which model and quant you run. Enough asks on 1, and we'll put it on the bench. For the local ceiling, I'm Wolf Stedman.